Haney returns. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's just says waiting on the casual expert to go live.
Okay. Okay.
All right, it went live, and then now it's on the wait. It's on the waiting room now. So yeah.
Yeah, I just switched it over, so we should be good. Uh, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Boxing News with Mike Theory and Supreme Boxing. Uh, we had some. It's like a weekend of upsets, like pretty much this weekend, and we'll get into all that. Uh, Weekend of upsets, weekend of rumors, weekend of finding out information about things. So it's like a lot of stuff's going on right now. Um, we can get started off with the first rumor is the Haney and Shakur, because that's going to lead into a lot of the conversation. Haney and Shakur to ZUFFA. I was at the ZUFFA event this weekend, so at the end, Dana White came out for the post-fight press conference, and so they're asking questions, and that came up one of the questions, and pretty much he said that he doesn't really say nothing if it's not true. He never really said no to it, but he said like that nothing's finalized. But the way he answered it, it kind of sounded like they're in the talks. At least I know that, or it's almost done. Because he said that what did he say? He said they want everybody to go there. They want everybody, so it's like they're reaching out to everybody, and so I don't know. It sounded like a yes. Um, what are your thoughts on like a
You
Haney
know what?
or Shakur?
It just comes on. It comes down to money and what they can offer in the long run for them.
Yeah,
That's what it's going to come down to, and I think yeah they are in negotiations, um, but again, Shakur came out and said like, oh, that's a lie. He had posted something on Coppinger's X page saying like
yeah,
none of this is true and whatnot. So I don't know if he wants to be the one to break the news. If it does break, if it is going to happen, who's to say? But sometimes fighters they'll do that. Not all fighters want to go on to X or want to go on Instagram and just start putting all their business out there.
yeah,
They want to keep a tight seal on it. They don't care about the rumors. They don't care about any of this. They want to get the maximum money, and they want to keep it behind closed doors, which it should be.
yeah,
So he may just be saying that to throw Cop off, but
yeah,
Coppinger gets a lot of his stuff because he does work for Ring from Turkey.
yeah.
So
Also,
I'm sure Turkey's don't. Yeah,
Mannix was the first one to tweet about it. It was Mannix, and then Coppinger started talking about it, hinting towards it as well, and then he's also hinted at a Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia fight. Um, so
yeah.
all, yeah, which one? That sounds like it might happen. Like that one sounds like it might happen because of like the question we asked at the post fight. But before we get into that, uh, I've seen a lot of online chatter talking about the reason why Haney and Shakur are even thinking about going to ZUFFA is because they can't sell tickets, and so since they can't sell tickets, they don't really make that much on pay per view. And when you go into ZUFFA, there's no pay per view model because it's Paramount Plus. So that's why they're going there to get that big upfront money. So then they're not worrying about having to sell tickets and having to sell pay per views and stuff like that. Do you think there's any truth behind that, or is that the reason why they would make that move, or who
Mm,
knows?
no, I don't think so, man. Because at the end of the day, I think the money's still there with Zuffa because of Turkey, and like I said, I still think that like Zuffa's the minor leagues, and the ring cards are going to be like the bigger fights.
Yeah,
until ZUFFA can make that move to start doing their own big cards, they're going to be relying on the ring maggot, on the ring cards to
Yeah.
be doing, to be doing the bigger events. Whether it's Conor Ben against Ryan, whether it's, Shakur on one of these cards or whatnot,
Yeah.
or Joe Bataya possibly going up against, David Benavides or whatnot. There's going to have to be a shit ton of money thrown at these fighters, and it's not going to be a fight that's at the apex, so
No.
it's going to have to be a card that has some solid undercards on it as
Oh
well.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to play. Everybody's going to have to start playing ball together.
No, for sure. And right now, most of the fights are at the apex because they only been really putting on fights for 4 months. They're signing people. So why not have it at the apex and save all that money from trying to get these venues, right? So they
Yeah,
signing everybody because so the next fight they're having is going to be in London, and then after that the Edwin De Los Santos and Caio
Cosmo,
card that's at the Cosmo. So they're starting to make that
Cosmo.
move, which makes you think big signings might be coming because if they feel like they're already with 4 months in already to start making moves elsewhere, that means I feel like that means they might have some big signings coming in to go ahead and launch a bigger fight on a ring card because they have fighters on the ring card already. They had fighters
Yeah,
previously on ring cards. Even they have I think two fighters are going to be on the Usyk card on the 23rd. So they have two fighters on that card. They had fighters on a previous ring card. So
yeah.
like we have talked
I
about this
just
before, right? I think they like remember I told you I think Dana was just trolling just to get the news out because like you're coming into a sport that's not it's not a brand new sport, right? It's not a brand new sport. You're not competing with another guy that's on your same level as like starting off. Why like building like organization from the ground up and oh look at the other guy has the same ideas, man. We're trying to see who's gonna get there first. It's not that type. First of all, you have Dana has a lot of resources with him because of the UFC and stuff like that. He has partnering. Turkey's bringing him in and into the boxing. Turkey already established what he wants in boxing. I'm willing to pay this big money to make the fights that everybody wants to see. Because you look at Turkey. Turkey's a casual fan that has endless supply of money. They have all that oil money. They have money. So he's a casual fan. It's like me on a Saturday night, like having a couple of drinks, watching fights, like, yeah, man, imagine if, like, thinking, like, I want this guy to fight this guy. And then my
yeah,
friend, my
exactly.
friend, my friend sitting right next to me, and he's Turkey. He has all this money. He's like, "What? You want to see that fight? Okay." He calls somebody. I got this much money. Let's make a fight. That's kind of how, like, that's what it is. Like, he's a casual fan with the money to make things happen. And so, back in with Turkey, everybody's worked with Turkey before, so they understand how he moves. And so it's like eventually that's where we're going to lead to. Like, it's just you're trolling to build your name, your organization, to get it in the mix. And nowadays, that's what happens. Like if you want people to talk about you, you have to have first make people talk negative about you, and then that's what makes people keep going, and that's building more eye, and then that's where you get the eyes to the thing. So that's how I felt like in the beginning. It was like he's just playing the part, and of course, there's probably is some things as fans, there is certain things in boxing where like, man, like fuck, like but that's every sport, that's every organization, that's just everything in life. Everything's not fucking perfect.
Yeah,
So
no, definitely. I just wish that he being Dana would come out and explain exactly what the long game is for Zufa. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
say, this is the plan. We plan on developing our fighters. We plan on developing Zufa, creating these best athletes, having the best fight the best until they get to that upper level. Once they're at that upper level, then we are going to work with Turkey. We are going to work with the WBC. We are going to work with the Golden Boy. And we're going to make the best fights happen.
yeah,
If you guys don't decide to come here, we will play ball with the other side, and continue to make the best fights for the fans.
yeah,
And I think if he were to do that, I think it would stop a lot of the talk because people don't know the inner workings of what's going on.
yeah,
They may think they know because of what they read or what's going on with Congress and with the Ali Act, but
yeah,
still they're only guessing of what Dana is really going to do. Only Dana
yeah,
and Turkey and those people at TKO Nick Khan know exactly what the what the game plan is, and what the the big picture of Zuffa is going to be.
For
And
sure.
I think that's what confuses so many people, is that you have so many people nowadays on the internet talking this, and oh, this is happening,
Yeah.
oh, this is happening, oh, this, no. Like,
Yeah.
even us that are on the inside don't know.
No.
We don't know. Dana's keeping it pretty hush hush. We know what
Yeah.
we see with these fighters. We know that they absorb 360. We know that right now it's still a glorified club show, but they are signing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors out there with Shakur, with Teofimo, with Devin, with a lot of these people possibly being signed.
Yeah.
But I just wish people would kind of like give it a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 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 like you said, I think some of the negative comments that he made early on,
Hmm.
as far as the WBC, as far as other sanctioning bodies, as far as Eddie Hearn, the same
Yeah.
thing like when you have a face off, we have this heated rivalry.
Yeah.
Me and you were sitting there talking shit to each other. 90% of it is just to sell tickets. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Get the brand name out there. Get people talking about, oh yeah, Dana Zuffa, the UFC. Dana, he's got
Yeah.
this boxing lady, and he's saying fuck Oscar and fuck the WBC and fuck
Yeah.
this and fuck that. And you get people interested. The casual fans get interested, and they want to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And now it's
For
time for
sure.
him to step up. But I think as us, as people that are inside, as real fans, it's people that like talk about the sport every single day. There's still a lot of unknowns with Zupa,
Yeah.
and I think that's for me, that's the only bad part. I don't know about like for you and other friends, but for me,
Yeah.
I just wish they would put it out. This is what our plan is.
No, I get
Give
you.
us a heads up. And things change, but
Yeah.
here's the plan. This is what we're gonna do. Because like even with me, you got me second guessing. Like what are they gonna do? They're gonna have these club shows, but then they're gonna have the big shows. And then I'm sitting here thinking they don't have enough fighters to do these big shows and fill up the undercard with a great card. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to work with with Turkey and Ring and all these other people. But just because of the politics of it, and now with Paramount and with Netflix and with all this other stuff going on and with the Zone, that's another street you're gonna have to cross as far as the broadcasting goes too. So there's a lot of unanswered questions right now.
But when it comes down to it, I think it's like I think it can be historic because say Zuffa does sign the Haneys and Shakurs. Those are the type of fighters they need to if they do a ring card with like a Golden Dubois or with a Matchroom, they need those type of fighters, those type of names to be able to do it because we know Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, they're all exclusively on this zone, right? But
Yeah.
if they go on a ring cards already been making fights on Netflix, right? Um,
Yep.
it might get tricky with the Netflix and Paramount thing, but I think as long as Dana, I think it's in the contract. You have to have certain decent number of fights to be on it. So as long as he stays to that schedule with the Zuffa boxing 6 and 7s and 8s, that's not gonna be in any conflict with the Paramount. But so you get the
Yeah.
Conor Benns, you get the Shakurs, the Stevensons, even the Berlanga. Like Berlanga, it's a name, right? He's a name. Rich Hitchinson's, it's a name. So you pair them up, Hitchinson's and Keyshawn. You got Haney and fight Rowley or Haney and Garcia. Shakur can fight whoever, and you make a ring card, and then with the broadcasting, you can bring in a Max Kellerman with the Sergio Mora or something like that. That would like, or if even Max Kellerman doesn't go, you still got Andre Ward that the Zuffa. So like you mix them, which would be like kind of interesting. You get you make like an all-star commentary team with both guys,
Yeah.
which is like so it can be like pretty freaking crazy. Like if when it comes down to it, if it happens, and which I feel like it's gonna happen. It's I think it's inevitable. Like it's inevitable. It's
It
boxing.
is
Like it's just
because
we're just
of
taking
the fact that
we're taking
Zupa
the hard
doesn't.
road. We're taking the hard
Yeah,
road. That's what
Zupa
we're doing.
Zupa just doesn't have that. They just don't have that team yet as far as fighters. Yeah, they have a big stable, but they don't have those superstars yet to
No,
get to that level.
no,
And and you know what? The fans and I say that I continue saying Zufa, but the thing is if Zufa does sign these guys, it's going to be up to Top Rank. It's going to be up to Matchroom. It's going to be up to Golden Boy to have
Yeah.
their fighters fight those type of fights. And I think that's what the fans are going to want. The fans have always wanted the best fighting the best.
Yes.
And it's up to everybody, including Dana, to give the fans what they want. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see. Like I said, it's still an interesting process. The way everything's playing out.
And I feel it is, and it's definitely taking like the hard road to get there. Like we're not taking the easy road. It could have been everybody, because like we talked about, like on the first boxing news we did together, right? Boxing is drama, right? And without drama, boxing doesn't sell. So this is all part of the storyline. So
Yeah.
when we get a ZUFFA fighter fighting a Golden Boy fighter or a Matchroom fighter, I think Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia makes so much more sense now, because you're not just talking about a build-up with the fighters. You're talking about a build-up between Dana and Oscar De La Hoya. They were almost best friends at one point. They were really good friends, and then they became not friends, and then now they're enemies. So you can see the evolution of their friendship, like it turned from good friend to enemy. So that build-up is going to be ZUFFA and Golden Boy, and you're Conor Ben versus Brian Garcia. They've been talking trash. Conor Ben bumped into him at different events, and so there's a storyline there of just talking shit to each other. The WBC will be on the line. It's going to be a ring card. That fight by itself, with a good undercard, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben, is a Netflix. It's a Netflix fight. And everybody can talk shit. Oh, Conor Ben's going to get smoked. Probably. I don't see him winning, but it's just the names and the drama attached to those names, to the organizations both coming in. It's going to be a really, really big buildup. And it's going to sell. It's going to sell because of everything attached around it. Not just the two fighters, but everything else around it. It'll be the first time a ZUFFA fighter is fighting a Golden Boy fighter, and it's just so much drama to it. And without drama, boxing doesn't sell tickets. The biggest fights have drama attached to it, and that's just what it is.
And the thing is like there was a question asked of Dana about promoting the fight this fall between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, right?
Yeah.
He kind of he didn't answer it. He didn't want to say anything about it
because I don't think he wants to give it away. But it's the wording. It's the wording. It's the wording.
But the thing, what's ringing a bell in my head right now is, if he does promote, could you send Ryan across the pond on a double main event, where you got Joshua and Fury and Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia in the co-main or the main event, and really saw that place out.
Yeah.
Ryan gets his exposure over there in England. He goes to Conor Ben's backyard to defend his title and makes a shit ton of money, Yeah. And again, you saw that ZUFFA versus Golden Boy.
It makes sense because I know UFC, they just signed a big TNT Sports or something, or no, Fly Sports or whatever, Sky Sports. It's a Sky Sports still. Yeah, Sky Sports. That's on that side. That's on the side of the pond. So I think anything that UFC signs, Dana is always gonna work the slap boxing into it, the ZUFFA into these deals, so those organizations can eat as well. So because he's not dumb like that. He has a big organization, and that's the leverage, and then he uses to help out the other two that he has, the Power Slap and the ZUFFA, and so I see that's why they're going to London now, because they signed Smith. They're fighting in CBS's hometown where he lives, and that's where they're fighting in London.
Yeah.
And so it just makes sense, he's fighting there, and right after they signed the Sky Sports deal. So it's it just makes sense. But it just I'm here for it. This is as just a fan in general. The more boxing I'm able to digest, inhale, is it's good for me, and I get all the other aspects, and I get everything else. And I'm here just to talk about my perspective on the sport, right? I don't really have ties into. Of course, I want to see the fighters protected. I want to see everybody get what they deserve. Uh, but that's something that's not. I'm not really invested into it like that because I have no ties to it. Like I can talk about it and I can see from my perspective. I can give my opinions on things, and I try to be objective as I can. But when it comes down to it, to the core, like I'm a fan of boxing. Why would I want
Yeah,
more fights? Like, why would I want more fights?
exactly. And I'm the same way, and that's why I enjoy talking to you, like on Tuesday nights, because
Yeah,
you bring a different perspective. And sometimes I see things one way,
yeah,
and when I hear a different perspective, it makes sense. There's a few things that have really clicked that you said. One again is like what you had said about the negative press.
yeah,
Getting people mad at you, getting people talking about you. You're building up. You want that, whether it's good press, whether it's bad press, whatever. You want that name to get out there. Oh, Zuffa this, oh, Zuffa that,
yeah.
Dana this, Dana that. And then just about certain things too, about certain fights. And certain fights that have happened. You broke down. You've had a different perspective of certain fighters, which I don't always see. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing, man.
No, it is, man. It is because I know you're more tied into the traditional side because of your relationships. Me, I just love the fights. I just love the fights. So like I try to keep that perspective. I try not to get clouded with any of the both sides because if I did let that if I did let the let things like cloud my perspective instead of just being like a fight fan. It would be towards leaning like the Dufa side just because of the
Yeah.
360 relationships I have, like, and they've always been 360's always been really good to me. So it's like, and then a lot of the fighters are there, like I have the relationships, so like, but I try not to let that go because I'm a fan first, like I'm a fan first. I
Yeah.
watch everything. I watch everything. So why would I go out of my way just to talk shit about this or promote this more when I know damn well like I'm gonna be watching everything. So it's like no, like let me not. We got a special guest in the building today. Say hi.
Hi. She's like, I'm with
He,
my daddy.
yeah, that's my little dog right here. Huh? He's a, he's an animal, dude.
How old is she? 3,
Yeah,
4?
no, he's three. He's three.
Got the longer. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no,
All right.
he gets that a lot. But yeah, I'm like, let him play with your son for a little bit because he's my rowdy man. He gets kicked out of the gym. He likes to fight.
Mm.
He already
Okay.
got his
Okay.
glove. Yeah, he already got the gloves. So we be have him hitting the mitts already. He likes it.
That's right.
I think it's just in the blood. He's Puerto Rican and Mexican, right? So it's baseball and boxing. That's like
There you
that's
go.
it. So if we're not in the backyard playing baseball, he's running into the room, grabbing the boxing gloves, and I'm making me fight. Don't be digging for gold.
Digging for gold.
They can see you. But yeah, but I just try to keep that perspective in general, like try to keep it like even ground, like. And I had did a video. Sit down, sit down. I did a video, like a hot take talking about the Zuffa fight, right? The event, and like that was
Yeah.
the first time I went there live, and everybody on the card, like it was a good fight. There was a lot of upsets. There was some knockouts. I did not expect Mosley the junior to knock out Sergey Boych. I did not expect that.
Oh
So
no.
no, so I gave my perspective, and there's a comment on YouTube saying, but most of them, like if you listen to the comments, they don't listen to what you're saying. They hear the first word, and of course, I know what I'm doing. I want people's engagement. So the first line is gonna make people irritated at me because first of all, I'm talking about Zuffa. That's already
Yeah.
like everybody's gonna be hating. So you're like, and then my first line was like, boxing fans love to. I forgot exactly what I said, but it's pretty much like complain or something like that. I said, and then about like having fights being too predictable. And the guy was like, "What do you mean? What fans are claiming fights are too predictable? Hold on, being too predictable." I'm like, bro, like just in general, if you look at it, like most of the time, your favorite fighter is fighting somebody they should beat. And and yeah, the way I said it is to get everybody riled up, like to get you irritated. Like,
Yeah.
of course, that's I want engagement. That's what I do. So I know what I was doing, but like he's just telling me like from that line, he didn't listen. I already know he didn't listen to anything else I said. I just said those fights were good. ZUFFA might not have the biggest names right now, but at least that fight card, it gave the fans what they wanted. It gave upsets, they gave knockouts. So it was the drama in the fights, which is like, and the biggest one was the Mosley Jr. knockout. That was incredible,
Yeah.
dude. Like it was, man. He hurt him in that last. Well, I don't want to get too far into that because that's gonna be a topic as well.
Yeah.
But and it's just like I don't even know where I was going. It's just like I try to
They're
keep
not predictable. They were good
yeah.
fights. You know, there were a lot of good big upsets.
Oh yeah,
So
it was.
for you, what is your perspective of that card? Is it that they were well matched? Was it that the fighters just aren't at that level and maybe were exposed for not having that type of competition? You know, with Sergey, you can't say that because he's fought the
No.
best.
Yeah.
You know,
And he's only been knocked.
but
Virgil Ortiz didn't even knock him out. He's only been knocked out by Brandon Adams in their first fight.
Yeah.
That's the only time. So mostly being able to knock him out, is it being wore down, like war of nutrition?
nutrition.
Because nutrition, because he's fought all these big fights, and eventually that it is. But I don't think that is. I think he's still young, like he's still solid. The the Rodriguez fight, Misa Rodriguez, they're both 16-0, and Misa Rodriguez
Yeah.
is not no slump. Like he's not
No.
like he's decorated. Like he was in the Olympics. He got medals. He's a trained by Robert Garcia. Like the other guy was 16-0. He had like 11 knockouts. Rodriguez had 8 knockouts. So they're close. I think that was just a good matchup. It was just a good matchup of two. Unless you watch boxing, I never heard of the other guy. That's the first time I heard him. But I knew who Rodriguez is. So I know I've seen him fight before. I know who he is, Robert Garcia. So I know them. I know him. But and then I was looking at it, and then I was looking at the odds. The odds, I think Rodriguez was favored by like 0.5. It was close. The odds were close, and then the records were both 16-0, and one had 11 knockouts, one had 8 knockouts. That was just a good matchup. That was just a good matchup. There were no favorites in that fight, but that's a good matchup. Like those are the types of fights. Like okay, like those are 50-50 for you. Like is it gonna live up to what it sees on paper, or they're both gonna go out there and fight and just try to point each other out because they want to keep their zero? No, they went out there and they fought. Hold on. They went out there and they fought. And so it was just that one was a good matchup. The Sergey Boychuk and Mosley fight, I didn't think that was a good matchup. I thought they were feeding Mosley to the wolves. I thought they're
so did I.
I was like, man, why would they do that to him? Like I think they just want to use his name, but to build up Sergey Boychuk a little more. But in actuality, they made Mosley that much famous more, and he was the A side on that card. He was the A side on that. He even talked about it. This is the first time, and that he's been boxing that he was the A side. He's never been the first name. He's never been the first name, and so for him to go around Las Vegas where he pretty much grew up with his dad, right? To see Mosley Jr. on billboards and all that, he's like, this will forever mean everything to me because of like how they treated him. They showed him like, and I was trying to look back on it and like, damn, like he's never been the A side. He's never been and he actually hasn't headlined a fight in a long time. So this is his first headlining fight in a long time, and then he was the A side, and he came out and he delivered. Like he
definitely.
That was
been called out.
That was
Colin Walsh right after that.
Yes, and that's a great fight now. Like seeing what he did to Sergey, I was like, and that's good for Callum Walsh as well. If he beats Mosley, that just adds to his list. But if Mosley can beat Callum Walsh, he's gonna. I think that would be if ZUFFA is gonna want to bring out like a welterweight bout and do their because they already have the light heavyweight. That would be the fight for their bout to announce that bout, the Callum Walsh versus Mosley Jr. ZUFFA bout, and then that would be the fight to do it, to at least add some type of legitimacy to their type of. And of course, that bout's just gonna be for them because most likely what it is gonna be is whoever has the ZUFFA bout would eventually fight the big fights against the WBC, the IBF on the ring card.
Yep.
So it's just those are
Exactly.
going to be their stars, and then they move on, and like that's what it would be like.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is like,
exactly what I've been saying. Yeah.
yeah,
You get to that top level and then
yep,
you graduate to the ring card,
for sure. It's just people get tied up in like it's because the bouts, boxing's. I know it's the bouts, the organization, so people get tied up in it. When they say, "Oh, the ZUFFA bout," then it's like everybody gets all riled up, like, "Oh, that's not a real bout." And it's like you want to inflict emotion to get people's reactions to talk about it. Like that's the game that we live in now. That's the media, the
Yeah.
social media era that we live in. You have to inflict emotion. If nobody's feeling any type of emotion, nobody's going to be invested into what you're doing. They don't want. They're not going to talk about it. They're not going to, even if it's a negative comment. You want people talking about your product, and you have
Yep.
to inflict emotion. So that's my perspective of everything.
Yeah. No, same. I think we're there on the same page,
Yeah. But yeah, so we're talking about that fight, man. I I honestly thought if Mosley was gonna win, he was gonna outbox him. He was gonna jab him to death, and just stay on the outside and just jab and jab. But he fought Bolshevic's fight. Like he fought what Bolshevik
Yeah.
wanted, and
He said that Boyacek, I don't know if you could hear the interview afterwards, but he said that Boyacek was smothering his jab,
yeah,
and every time that he'd go in and he'd smother his jab, that he was getting hit with a counter. So he
yes,
decided that he had to just go into and fight on the inside and turn it into a dog fight. And
yeah, yeah. He was saying
I
that he
think
was
he had, I
smothering his
think he
jab
had
because he kept leaning like walking forward with his head down. So
his
he was
head down.
smothering his
Yeah,
jab, and then he kept saying like he was like nervous that he didn't want to get the head bunt. He didn't want to get cut. So he had to
he
switch
wanted
his
to
game
cut.
plan. He had to
Exactly.
switch.
And he did hurt him. I want to say at the end of the fourth,
Yeah, it was
before the
end of the
knockout.
fourth.
It
Yeah,
had hurt.
he was
Had
end of
hurt
the fourth.
Boyacek.
Yeah, we saw that. I was like, what the? Like right away he hit him, and then the bell rang. I was like, oh shoot. Now let's see how he comes out. Like that was the next thing. He hurt him. Let's see what's the game can be for Mosley now. And he came
Yeah.
out in the fifth round. He came out swinging, and then we're like, oh okay. Sixth round came
Yeah.
out again, and that was the end. It was
Yeah. It was
it was
a
impressive.
great fight, great showing. You
Yeah,
know, glad to see that Jack Mosley, his grandfather was there, his dad was there.
yeah,
He had a lot of support there.
for sure.
So good for Mosley, man. Good for
No,
Mosley.
yeah, and and I know, there's always those people that say like, oh, who cares if Bocek or Mosley beat Bocek? Like they're both nobodies. Da, da, da. Like you can always say that about anything. But if you're a fan, and most likely those are just the casuals talking, or people just online want to talk. But if you're a fan of boxing, that was a good fight, bro. Like Mosley came and he lived up to what his potential, and he's always done that, right? He's had the fight against Daniel Jacobs, but then he lost against Ramos Jr. Like it's just sometimes he doesn't seem that focused, and right now he seems focused. He seems like he knows this is like his last real run at anything, and he has to go out there and just and do it because he has the assets. He's tall, he's lengthy, like he has a good jab, like he has everything that you need, like to be a champion. Like he has all the attributes. He just sometimes
Yeah.
he doesn't come in focus, and
Not exactly.
that fight he was locked in.
Man. Then across the pond, man, you had the big upset out there.
Oh my god. The
Oh,
all right, yeah, that big us man, I did not
man,
see, but David Morrell
I
too.
had
He's another one that doesn't come in focus a lot of times. He comes in
no.
acting. He reminds me a little bit. His attitude reminds me of a Matthias, where they come
Yeah,
in and they just too fucking confident, and they feel like what I do is gonna get me these wins because they have been. They don't really make adjustments. Like I know they fight completely different, but it's just their mind. I feel like their mindsets are the same, and that's what irritates me because they don't want to make those adjustments, or they kind of get like complacent because they're winning the fight and I'm winning it, and then you end up getting hurt. Like that's what happened to Matias,
yeah.
and that's what happened to David
That's what
Morrell.
happened to
Yeah,
him. Wow. Yeah, I did not expect that from
no,
from Shelly to go out
Oh
there and knock out
no,
Morale.
it's
Like
a last
I don't
minute
think
replay.
anybody did.
It's a last minute replacement. So you this fight like you it should be. I know it should be an easy fight for you, but no fight's easy. Like you never have
No,
that type of mindset. Everybody has the same. The gloves are the same. The ring size is the same. You guys are the same way. Everybody. It just takes one punch. I might not
yeah,
be a knockout guy, but if I hit you in the right spot, like you're gonna get
yeah.
hurt. So
People don't understand. It only takes 9 pounds of pressure to knock somebody out. Nine
yeah,
pounds. That's like nothing, bro. It's just the quick turn of the neck and you're
hmm
out. It pinches that oxygen to your brain,
yep,
releases that protein, and you're asleep, bro. That you're done. And it doesn't. It's just that one punch is all it
yeah, that's
takes. And
it.
fighters train and they train and they train, and it becomes muscle memory. Like I said, they throw punches. Every punch is thrown for a reason, and sometimes it's not a lucky punch. It's the lack of discipline and the lack of
Yeah,
training from the other fighter. Maybe it's just age that's caught up to them. Maybe they're tired from camp, whatever the case may be.
yeah,
When they get caught slipping and the arms go down or something happens and they get caught,
yeah,
it can be lights out. And that's what happened with Morale.
for sure. And it just kind of gets me mad too because I really wanted to see the Callum Smith and Morrell fight. I thought it was gonna be. Now looking back on it, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
like I don't know now. You
No.
don't know. You don't know now.
Yeah, you don't know
It's
exactly.
crazy.
So
But we'll get into the Frank Warren. He had just talked about and I talked about the Zuffa fight, the Zuffa because he's talking about. They asked him about is Dana
the
gonna is
promotion.
yeah, the Dana gonna be promoting the Tyson Fury and Joshua fight, and he says specifically on the contract it says no Zuffa, right? But we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, and I had said the wording. It's always the wording. So when they asked Daniel about it, he kind of like laughed it off and said, kind of like, didn't give a straight answer. But he's like, "Oh, so I guess I'm not promoting it." And he's like, and I, he's just that's what he does. He always like brushes off smart out like shit talker, which is like or whatever. Like that's fine. But I say it's the wording because when they asked Eddie Hearn about it and they asked Frank Warren about it, they both say Zuffa. When when they did the Canelo and Crawford card, it wasn't Zuffa promoting it. It was a Ring Magazine Rehab season, but Dana White was the promoter, not Zuffa. It was Dana White. So
Yeah.
if they do that again, it's not going to say Zuffa on there. It's going to say Dana
No,
White as the
probably gonna
promoter.
say
So
Dana. Yeah.
yeah, so they're saying Zuffa on the contract. It specifically says no Zuffa promotion. Okay, that's fine, but Zuffa's not promoting it. It's Dana White. Dana White
You
as
know
the
what?
promoter. Dana White promotes Zuffa. Dana White promotes UFC. Dana White promotes slapboxing. He's not. He's yes, those are the organizations, but he's not them. He's Dana White. So when if he does promote it, I think most likely he's gonna have a hand in it, which is it's gonna be Dana White, not Zuffa. So that's the thing that they keep saying is like, oh, Zuffa's not this, and that's why Dana says what he says because it's like, yeah, Zuffa's not gonna promote it. He's not gonna
Yeah, you gotta.
he's not gonna come out and say straight that, but that's how I look at it. It's gonna be Dana White, not Zuffa, which is I guess to everybody it's all the same, right?
No, I agree, but
Yeah,
and then it's a promoter's license,
yeah,
and you a certain same like with the matchmaker, right?
hmm
You can matchmake for a ton of different companies. You can matchmake for Golden Boy, Top Rank. You can put your business out there and be the matchmaker on record.
yeah,
And it could be a fight that's going to be made and you didn't even match it. Like everybody knew that Canelo and Crawford were going to fight. That was a fight that was going to be it.
yeah,
But Charles Bolsucker still goes down as the matchmaker on record.
yeah,
Dana White still goes down as the promoter on record,
yeah,
even though it's promoted by Sella and TKO and Canelo Promotions and everything else. There has
yeah,
to be one record, for the licensing fees and everything else. So that's like you said, it just has to do with the wording of everything, man.
yeah,
So too many people get caught up in it. They get caught up in that, and
yeah,
like I said, people start posting. People think they know, and they
yeah,
get confused as people that don't know what's going
yeah.
on. And Oh,
It's
did you
just,
hear ZUFFA promoting this and that? No, no, no.
it's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
but
mean,
it gives people to talk about. Like, so right now is the time for everybody. Like we're talking about it. Everybody's making money off the content. Just talking about different narratives. Um, I try to stay away from the things that are not like set in stone. Like I try to stay away from rumors too much. I don't really like. Right now we're talking about it's fine because we're live. But I don't really
yeah,
post nothing. I don't post nothing that's a rumor really. Like I try to. There's so much shit to talk about for boxing. Like there's so much things to post that's actually happening. There, I don't need to be be like drug into the whole like fairy tales of things like oh this and that and like I don't want to gossip about nothing. I want to talk about what's actually happening because this is I'm actually watching these fights. I'm not just like watching highlights and then I go online and make a post and talking about
yeah.
it.
You're actually paying
Yeah,
attention to what the hell's going on and watching it, and not
yeah,
just making some fly by night comment on Twitter,
yeah,
because you don't like a certain fighter, you don't like a certain company or whatnot. Yeah, no,
yeah. But
that's the
that
bad thing
Dubois
about
fight,
that.
and we'll go into the next. Let me see what I think what happened next. Actually, let's go to the Dubois fight since we're on the Frank Warren and and that's happened. That one was crazy. I was trying to watch the fight, and because
Oh.
I was at the weigh-ins for the Zuffa, so I was like at the weigh-ins, like recording, and then like trying to watch the fight at the same time, and I was like I'm like, I don't want to miss nothing. But man, like I'm missing a little bit, but I saw when Dubois got dropped, and then when I came back to it, I was like, I seen Dubois beating the shit out of Wardley. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, oh, I went back and I rewatched it, and I had to rewatch it because,
That was nuts, man. The first 10 seconds was dropped in the
yeah,
first 10 seconds of the
yeah,
fight, dropped again, hurt in the third,
yep.
and just battled his way back. Like literally that kid. That's a
I
big
think,
time fight
yeah.
of the year candidate right now.
Oh,
That's probably fight
that's
of the
fight
year
of the
so far.
yeah, that's fight of the year, yeah. Because he came back and knocked him out in the 11th, right? I think in the
Yeah,
so
came back and knocked him out they stopped in the 11th round. Yeah,
yeah,
he
those
was Wardley was hurt. Wardley was hurt though. So that was
yeah.
a good stoppage. And he didn't even complain about the stoppage,
No.
So it
Well, he was
was.
already all busted up before that too. So it was just man, those type of fights put a smile on my face.
Oh yeah.
And it's great. Like they're healthy. They're good, both of them. But it was like man, that was a war, dude. Like a real war. That was both
Oh,
hurt, both dropped. Like coming back from getting dropped twice, like and then coming back and then just hurting him and busting him up,
that's
and then
a
finishing it.
Castillo Castillo Corrales style fight right there.
Oh yeah,
Down, drop, hurt. You're the underdog on the card. You're
yeah,
not expected to win, and you come back and you stop your opponent. Like
yeah.
that was wild, bro.
I'm telling you, it was an underdog weekend. This whole weekend was just about the underdogs.
Definitely all the
Yeah,
underdogs.
yeah,
Most of the underdogs pulled it off.
yeah,
So it was a good weekend. Not a great weekend, but a good weekend of boxing. Something to
yeah,
watch on Mother's Day.
yeah,
I barbecued, then I went in the room and relaxed. I just kicked my
yeah,
feet up, and watched some good fights. Some solid fights there. And that Wardley fight though surprised the hell out of me. That was a great fight. I mean, turned out way better than I expected it to.
oh
The way
yeah,
it started off is what I expected. Like, okay, Wardley's just gonna kick his ass. And
yeah,
what a win by Dubois.
yeah. I know. I thought saw it. It's okay. It's fine. Leave him alone. Okay, there. Yeah, I know. I thought Wardley was gonna go in there and just take him out within like the third round. Like I don't think it was third or fourth or something like that. But when you seen that first knockdown in 10 seconds and then again in the third, you're like, oh yep, it's coming,
Yeah.
it's coming. And then all of a sudden he, man,
Yeah.
he dug deep, and he went in there and he battled and came and chopped the tree down, just chopping and then finished it in the 11th round.
That heavyweight division is so wide open right now. Like
Yeah,
it's besides Usyk, man, it's anybody's for the taking. You know,
yeah.
Usyk, he's got
Usyk is
a
in his own
he's got a
world.
few years left, and
Yeah,
it's what it could be anybody's. Anybody can become world champion right there as far as
yeah.
those top contenders go. You know, from Richard Torres to
Moses
to
Otama.
Moses Itama, yeah, to what is it, Beck or whatever the guy's name is from
Oh,
Germany. So it's like
yeah,
there's a ton of fighters right there that are capable of becoming world champions. So yeah,
for sure.
yes, sir.
We got a hey Dominic. I might be lagging. I don't know if it's the internet or something. My bad. He says I'm lagging. I'm lagging right now. Maybe.
Yeah, you've been.
Do you have your TV on?
Do I have my TV on?
Yeah, your
No.
YouTube or like the YouTube on, like the live playing.
Yeah, but I can't hear it.
It's muted.
Yeah, it's muted.
Oh, it's muted.
But I
I
know that you're like lagging on my side anyways, so like a little bit. So
I am
yeah, just a little bit.
because like hello. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Is it bad or is it like it's
No, it's all right now. I mean, it's not bad.
okay?
Yeah.
But shout out to Dominic Barn in the chat. What's up, man? Um, but yeah, there's a lot of young guys right now. So we need to see. We'll speak of since we're talking about the heavyweights. Torres had called out Utama, so that's interesting. He says he's an amazing fighter, but with that being said, I'm 100% confident in my abilities as a fighter as well. I would love to get in the ring with him. So that's Richard Torres on Moses Utama. Man, I would like to see that fight, but I will also want to see Richard Torres take his time.
I can hear what you're saying. It's just an echo. I'm finna send it to you.
Okay, let me see. Maybe I have some setting. Oh shoot, is it still there? Is it still an echo? Yeah, I can hear the echo in my headphones. Hmm. Okay, hello. Is it still
I can
echo?
hear you. I don't hear the echo through the streaming service.
Okay,
They're saying they hear it through YouTube, so I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I don't really, I really don't want to go on like a wild hunt right
yeah, trying
now.
to fix it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we're already 48 minutes into the conversation. So,
yeah.
uh, but hold on, does it sound better? Oh, I see. There's the echo still. All right, whatever, man. My bad. Hey, I apologize if it's just an echo, but I'm already too far into the stream to go ahead and try to fix it. Um, but yeah, like what I was saying is with the Torres one, like I would love to see that fight, but I would also want to give Torres a couple more matches. Um, but if which is good though. He's calling for the fight, which is a lot of people this point in their career, they're not looking for those type of matchups. They're following their promoter or their manager's lead and kind of just working them in, right? So
Yeah. No, I think it's a like you said, I think he needs a few more fights. He's still a little bit raw.
yeah,
He's too come forward. He comes out, 100 miles an hour.
For sure.
And what tends to happen like that is you get somebody that can take that punch and isn't going to go down in the first round, first 2 rounds, 3 rounds. It's going to burn itself out, and then he's going to get
Yeah.
tired, and then he gets caught, gets hit by a real heavyweight. It could be lights
Oh,
out for him,
oh yep.
So definitely, I think needs a little bit more
Yeah, we
experience
know,
before he goes in there.
and
And somebody
we,
like,
we know Otama can crack.
yeah, definitely.
So that was, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good fight, but it's like if I would wait a little bit, but he's calling for it, so sometimes you gotta feed them if they're calling for it. But just you're the one that told me about this one, and then I seen you guys post it. The
yeah,
Lomo's returning. The legend's back. Yeah.
he's back, man.
Is it official? He's back, or is it
So
official? He's
he's
back.
back today. It's official. Today was his last day with Top Rank as far as the contract goes. He's done with this
Yeah.
contract. He's out of that contract. He'll become a free agent. And then we're gonna see him fight there at 35, man. And there's some good fights.
Yeah.
So
Do I need,
oh man, I mean,
do I say that? Do I say the controversy? Do I say it? He's gonna come back
say,
and he's gonna sign to ZUFFA and then fight
and he's gonna sign
Shakur
to Zupa.
and he's gonna fight
Hey,
Shakur Stevenson under the ZUFFA. That
well,
would be
the thing is that there's no 140.
no
So either he
35,
fights at 135 or moves up to 47.
47. Oh, 47. That's crazy for Loma. I
Yeah,
don't even think he should be fighting at 40. I think he should be fighting at the whole time at 35.
yeah,
I
me
think
too.
I think I
Because
think
he,
it was
he, he made the
yeah,
jumps 22,
yeah,
26, 30, 35.
yeah,
So definitely needs to stay at 35. He's a small frame. He's got that small statue, so
yeah,
definitely needs to stay there. But good fights for him,
for sure.
at
Hey,
35. You
yeah,
still
we have
got,
Dominic Martin in the chat. He's saying that he thinks that Loma did that to get out of the top ranked contracts. The timings, everything is too coincidental. Now, yeah, I think for sure
oh no, definitely.
yeah, he definitely did that for sure. If today's his last day and he's like talking about yeah, and then Dominic Martin said that the Tank's gonna fight Loma at 35.
Mm, could happen.
Good, good.
Could happen. I don't know if Tank will go back down to 35. I think he's pretty comfortable at 40. But I don't think
Well,
Tank would go.
has he fought at 40 yet, or is he talked about moving up? Right, he's talked about moving up. He hasn't fought. He made the
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Tank's a little guy
oh
too. Heavy hitter,
yeah,
but
but
he's a smaller
but they can fight
smaller
at
statue
40.
too.
Loma and Tank can both fight at 40. Yeah, and he said that's a way bigger fight. I think so too. Tank and Loma. Loma comes back and they fight at 40. That would be Tank's first fight at 40 coming up. Well, making his like 140. Like hey, this is where I'm gonna be at now. And then
Yeah,
Loma, that's a big fight.
no, definitely a big fight. So as far as like
How would you see that
ESPN
going?
rankings go,
How would you see that going?
I think Loma would outbox Tank. I think he would
You,
outbox Tank, even
you don't think
even at an
you don't think
older
Tank
age.
you don't think Tank can catch him? Get the timing and
Mm, I
if
don't know,
Loma
but
if
I mean, there's
Loma
some.
if Loma's footwork hasn't slowed down, if he can still move the way he moves, then yeah, I can see him dancing around him and moving and cutting the angles. But if he slowed down just a little bit, that's all techniques. Tank just needs that
But
that that time to gather the information. And if he's able to
yeah,
gather
but
that information, those missiles are gonna land.
and Tank hasn't fought in a while either.
No,
So
no, yeah, they both
Tank's
haven't
been out
fought
of
in
the
a
ring.
while.
Tank's been out of the
But the
ring for a
thing,
minute.
yeah, but the thing with Tank is he's not known. He doesn't move around a lot. He takes his time. So I don't feel like the ring rust or anything's gonna really affect a Tank style fight because of how he fights. He's really really patient, and he'll give those rounds away, right? So he's really really patient. But
Yeah,
for Loma, the dancing, the rhythm, all of that is like he hasn't been in the ring. That is something you need to be active with. That rhythm, that dance, those angles, like all that. Like you have to have that timing. With Tank is like he's a patient fighter. Like All
Yeah.
Tank's fights are boring until the knockout. They're all boring
Oh yeah.
until the knockout. So Tank doesn't give a fuck. He'll sit there and he'll throw 4 or 5 punches like he don't care until he like, okay, boom, I got you, I got
Yeah.
it,
Oh.
and that's it. So if Loma slowed down just a little bit, that's gonna give Tank enough time to gather the information. So Loma needs to be dancing. He needs to be moving.
So
Oh yeah,
at
possibly Tank
35,
and Loma is crazy. It's a crazy
at
fight. It's
35 right
interesting.
now.
Yeah,
Here's what it looks like. He still has Shakur as the champion down at 35,
yeah,
even though we know he's gone up to 40. You got Raymond Murataya, Andy Cruz, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield, William Zepeda, Sam Noakes. Uh, the new one to the top 10 is his name's Yadir Herrera, 18-0 with 16 KOs. You got
yeah,
Joe Cordina, and then rounding it out with Lucas Batty. So yeah, there's definitely a loaded packed division at
yeah.
35 right now
We have
with some heavy hitters and some big names down there, man.
yeah. He
So
says team is on the chat. Team no lacking says Loma needs a tune-up. I kind of agree with that. He's been out too long. He comes in,
definitely,
he fights somebody, and then he makes that five. And
yeah,
then
yeah, definitely.
Dominic Warren saying that Shakur is not the champ no more at 135. I think he still is. I don't think they stripped him yet. He hasn't, because he mentioned that he's willing to go back to 35 to fight. He had mentioned he's never said that he's leaving 35 for good. He's always left that opening to go back down to 135. He's never shut that down. So hey, I appreciate it, Team No Lacking. Just sub to the channel. Shout out Team No Lacking. I appreciate you. But yeah,
Sir.
I think the fight that I would love to see, for me, if I was able to matchmake, I would love to see Shakur go back down to 35 and fight Raymond Muthaya. I feel
Oh
like that's
man.
a fucking. I feel like that's a the incredible fight. Oh, they said Team No Lacking said they stripped him, so they stripped Shakur at 35.
I know he was gonna give up his belt, the WBC title.
Yeah,
Um,
I, I,
so
I don't know if I haven't seen. I didn't know if that was official. But if they stripped him at 35, then stay at what you're at 140.
then
Fucking.
yeah.
Then we're not gonna get. We're definitely not gonna be able to see the Raymond Muay. Oh, he's a champion recess, so he's not stripped. So he
Recess,
can.
yeah, he's a champion in
So
recess.
whenever he makes that decision to go back down to 35, then they give him his belt back. So and then he'll fight.
Yeah, so
He'll fight.
your four champs: Abdullah Mason, the WBO; Raymond Murataya,
Oh
IBF;
yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, the WBC; and Tank Davis, the WBA in recess.
Oh yeah, because he didn't pay the. They're saying because he didn't pay the sanctioning fees for the
Because he
WBC.
didn't pay the sanction
Yeah.
fees. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. That's why the chat needs to be there because sometimes I don't have a great memory. Sometimes I can certain things I can recall right away, and other things just like takes me like 2 years to remember shit. So
Yeah.
you know,
No, it's all
man,
good, man. It's all good.
then too many accidents in Iraq. So
Oh man.
yeah, so
You in the
memories.
military, bro?
Yeah, I was in the Marines.
Oh man. Thank you for your service, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, I got my flag right there.
Yes, I
That's
see the flag, but I figured somebody
yeah.
passed away or
Oh yeah, no,
somebody's.
it was a gift from my uncle from his unit. They gave it to me when I came back from the National Guard. My uncle's he was in the Marine suit, and then he went to the National Guard. He got out. That's when I got home, they gave me the flag.
Yeah. Um,
That's an
that's nice,
interesting
bro.
fight too. I think that's a little too fast for him. They're saying that we might see Kid Austin and Tank. It's a good fight, but oh man, thank you. But
No,
I
yeah.
think thank you. But I think Kid Austin. I don't know if that's too early, right? Kid Austin versus a Tank. It's interesting. I don't know if he has the experience yet.
I don't
Enough
know, man.
experience for
Floyd,
that Tank fight.
he looked good that last
He
fight though,
did.
man.
No,
So
he did. He did. I just still look at him as like a young fighter. Even
the
though
way
he's
he
yeah,
dropped Tevin Farmer, man, like I didn't
I
expect
know.
that, bro. Like
No, no, for
I
sure.
thought Tevin Farmer was gonna give him the business, and not necessarily win, but I thought he was gonna take him into deep waters and you know But no, I
They're saying Team No Lackey saying that give Kid Austin that fight, give the kid the fight. Well, Kid Austin, he's a champion right now, right? He has a belt,
mm,
or no?
Mason,
Or
no,
that's Abdullah Mason, right? Abdullah Mason has a
Abdullah
belt.
Mason.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Abdullah Mason has a belt. Yeah, he looks good. Kid Austin looks good, but wasn't Kid Austin also supposed to fight Shakur, and then that didn't happen too, right?
yeah. Think he ended up in the hospital or something like that. So you know their best to shop some black fighters like Kid Austin and keep them inactive. Shit, every match, you know, they still haven't got him another fight.
Yeah,
Well, you know, I don't think that it's not necessarily they haven't got him another fight. I mean, he was offered a couple fights and they fell through, you know. So,
yeah.
but
And he's looking for. I know he's looking for a good like a name. He's looking for a name like another Tevin Farmer fight. Like that was a name for him. Like he's trying to
yeah,
move up. He's trying to move up. So he's trying to look for a name. Not I think they're at that point in their career where they don't want to just keep fighting just to fight. They need to make that movement up the ladder. So you need to get those
yeah,
fights. And when it comes to boxing, people that are higher above you, they're going to want to fight somebody under you because there's that chance they lose their ranking spot, and ranking spot plays a big thing in how much you're getting paid, right? Like your
and honestly,
your rank spot, your name, and all that plays into like, hey, I'm trying to make some money.
in the top 10, really, there's nobody for him to fight that's in that Golden Boy stable. Yeah, Abdullah Mesa is going to be fighting Joe Cordina on 4th of July. Andy Cruz, you know, he's coming off that loss to Raymond Murataya. Murataya is top rank. I don't think they'll throw him in there right away with Abdullah. I mean, not Abdullah, but
Kid Austin,
Murat with Kid Austin. Yeah,
Kid Austin, and Andy
should
Cruz, that's a good fight. I know he's coming out the loss,
that
but that's a good
that's
fight.
something. Yeah, that's a fight that could happen. The fight that would probably be the easiest made would be Zepeda, him and Zepeda. You
Mm.
know,
I think he gets
not.
that fight too. I think Kid Austin takes that one.
Well, so do I. I
Yeah,
think he outboxes. I
for
think he
sure.
outboxes Camaro.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
that's a good fight.
Yeah.
That's a good name for him too, because that's also like it gives him an opportunity to do something to Cepeda that Shakur couldn't do, right? So it's like, look at, and it's like when you get those type of fights, you're like, look at, yeah, you beat him, but I beat him like this, and then that's gives you room to talk your trash and try to move up and get fights. So that's
Yeah.
a good fight for him.
No, it is. It's a good fight for him. So hopefully we'll see Kid Austin back in the ring pretty soon. You know.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was saying. He's like, but not the same fighters, but that's kind of what I was talking about. Team No lacking in the comments says Shakur was gonna fight George Cordina 2 years ago. So if Mason stops Cordina, it will make Shakur look bad. Well, yeah, it just gives Mason like ammunition to talk shit, right? Like, hey, look at like you're gonna fight him, but you didn't. But so I had to come in and clean up your mess. I had to come and take out your trash. Like, it just gives them more reason, more ammunition to go ahead and like boast up a little bit, give you ammunition to run your mouth.
No,
Because
exactly.
we have Keyshawn talking shit to both of these fighters, like, but Keyshawn is like another guy where he just runs his mouth and he just let's make a fight, bro. Like, so he's going to 47 now. We'll see what happens at 47, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because not even on X or anything. Nobody's really talking about what's going on with Schofield, man. Usually there's rumors out there or whatever, but nah, it's those boxing streets are quiet right now, man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, is there anything else that you want
Uh,
to chop it up about before we head out?
no, not really, man. I mean, it's a pretty quiet weekend. This weekend coming up, I think there's one fight, you know, so it's nothing real major going on in the boxing world. You
No,
got the
not.
Usyk fight in a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah. We could talk about that next week and stuff. But
yeah, we'll
yeah,
talk
nothing.
about that Usyk.
I'm gonna be at the MVP MVP stuff this week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be at the workouts.
Yeah, because they have the MMA stuff going on, right?
Yeah,
Getting
yeah,
ready
the
to.
MMA. Yeah, so I'll be out there for the open workouts tomorrow, and then I'll be for the weigh-ins and the press conference on Friday, Thursday, and Friday. But that's because there's no boxing stuff going on right now. So, but
Yeah,
I'm
this
just I'm
weekend
just a
you
fight
do
fan
have
too.
the.
So
Yeah, you do got the top rank card this weekend with
yeah,
Keyshawn Davis in the rematch against Nahir Albright. Yeah, Brian
I,
Norman is coming back into the ring.
yeah,
Calvin Davis, Jan Carlos, and Dietrich Coleman, Keon Davis. So all three of the Davis brothers in their hometown fighting this weekend.
yeah. I hope Albright comes back,
It'll
and
be a top rank on the zone card.
I hope Albright comes back and upsets him.
That's
And
right,
I don't
man.
think I
That's
don't
right.
I don't think I don't think Keyshawn Davis is taking it too serious. I think he feels like he's gonna walk through him, and that's a tough fight for him. Their first fight was really tough, and
Yeah.
then he beat his brother. Albert beat his brother, and this last outing, he had a good performance. Uh, yeah, I I kind of
I
want to.
don't know. I think he has something to prove
Yeah,
to himself, to his family,
yeah,
to his community. And
yeah.
I think he's gonna go out there and put on a
Oh
show
shoot.
and really really look good, man. I think he's gonna stop Albright. And I
Mhm.
think it's gonna be in devastating fashion where people are that we're gonna be talking about it on Tuesday,
Yeah,
like, wow, did you see that knockout? So yeah.
yeah. Okay. Who Shushu's fighting? Carrington, Bruce Carrington's fighting. Shushu. I don't know who's he fighting. Can I see?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who Shushu's fighting this weekend.
Chad, let me know who's he fighting because I don't remember that. Keyshawn
Yeah.
got clipped in that fight, but he won convincingly. Let me see.
I know they had not announced Tiger Johnson for the Fourth of July card, but I didn't know he was fighting this. He's okay. So Tiger Johnson fighting Christopher Guerrero, and
And then Shushu's
so that's on
fighting.
that's on no, that's on Fourth of July though. That's on
Yeah,
Fourth of July.
Tiger Johnson's on
So
4th of July,
yeah,
and then Bruce
yeah.
Carrington's fighting Rene Palacios. He's
And is that this
19.
weekend?
Let me see.
I don't think it's this weekend. Well, seven. No, that's on Fourth of July as well.
That's on 4th of July as well. Okay,
Renee
yeah.
Palacios. Yeah. So yeah,
Uh,
you got me confused there for a
I,
minute,
I was
man. I was like,
yeah. I was like,
am I
I
lagging
didn't.
on something?
I like
Yeah.
Shushu,
No.
so I like
Yeah.
Shushu, so I was like, I did not see his name
Yeah.
anywhere that he was fighting this week.
Those guys are
Okay.
fighting. That's the first the zone TNT card.
Oh,
That
okay.
Top Rank's doing. They're fighting in Cleveland. That
Yeah.
one will be streamed on TNT Sports and on the zone. So that's the first TNT cards that they're doing. So yeah, we need Brandon Figueroa back. Definitely, man. But no, we'll be talking about, it's just a small
Yeah.
little card in Virginia that Top
Yeah.
Rank's
Fourth of
doing.
July. Okay.
Yeah,
You scared,
so
they
but
scared me in the chat right now. I was like, wait a minute.
yeah, me too. And they're
I
Tiger, and
haven't
I'm like, wait
seen.
a minute.
I didn't see
I just seen
Shushu's name anywhere. I was like, I
yeah,
like watching
I
him
just seen
fight.
Tiger at the press conference because they did it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, not even talking about the fight this Saturday. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. So yeah, yeah.
I know. I know.
Now
I
we're
was like,
good.
oh shit. I was like, what the hell? But all right,
Yeah.
cool. We're on the same track now, for sure.
All right, all
All
right.
right. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
Dominic Martin. Thanks for jumping in. Team No Lacking. I appreciate the subscription, dog. I appreciate that shit. Stacks.
Thank you
Appreciate your
guys. And
time.
thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
I appreciate your time. We're here every Tuesday. Boxing news on Tuesday nights, and then we'll get back to the Thursday night live soon. I'm gonna be gone this whole week again. Yeah, Edwin de los Santos. That's in June. He's fighting Ryu. He's fighting Ryu Venezuela in June.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
rematch.
yeah, that's
Knocked Ryo
that,
out the first time. Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a good one. For me, that card. I'm biased on that card because Omar's on that card, and so is King Sandoval's on that card. So on that one, I'm biased. Like those two are my guys. So I I'm rooting for Kane coming back off that loss. Um, that fool's an animal, dude. Kane's an animal. He like
Kane's my
he
boy, bro.
he got a chin on him, like boy, and he can punch. Uh, and then Omar's a wild man. That the Omar's a wild man. That Omar loves
Yeah,
to fight. He's from Boyle Heights. He's from the area, so yeah, he can fight though. He can fight. He loves to scrap. So when things start getting crazy, he's willing to oblige and he'll fucking scrap with them. So both those are going to be good fights. That I'm really interested to see if Ryo could come back and he could what's his adjustments are going to be for that De Los Santos fight, because De Los Santos, well, we already know he knocked him out. He's scary. He's a good fighter. So yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
All right, man. So
All right, that's it.
I will
Boxing
see you
news.
guys next.
Next week,
Peace.
Tuesday, 8 o'clock for boxing news. Mike Theory, Supreme Boxing, and I appreciate everybody tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock.